Ni hao YouTube, and welcome to a little bit of a different video. In this video, we're going to see the 816 decommissioned nuclear underground and secretive project that was here in China that started in 1966. This project started as a secret by the Chinese government in the Cold War era to produce and to research about nuclear technology, nuclear weapons, plutonium as well. So today we're coming to what is probably something you've never seen on YouTube before. We're going to be getting exclusive access into this former decommissioned nuclear site, which was opened somewhat to the public in 2002. So as you can see by my voice, I'm a little bit worried. You know, we don't know if there's sort of radiation in where we're going. I believe it's safe. We're going to find out today. So today we're also here with I Chongqing, who set this up and made this happen. So thank you to them.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, let's jump into this and yeah, let's explore this underground and secretive project 816 here in China. Hey, and we're also here with Yuan again and Julius,
hey
our friends here in China. So yeah, we're gonna have a really good day today. Let's go. So what this says here is, it says choose peace, not war. Now that is a Chinese poster by the Chinese government that says choose peace, not war, which is very ironic to what we're currently hearing in the news lately from the US, from Australia, which is war, 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 you know what, Taiwan. So we won't delve into that now, but I just find that extremely fascinating when they're saying choose peace, not war, but yet we're hearing...
different than what we hear.
Exactly.
Normally, yeah.
Right now, we are extremely lucky to see this, right?
So lucky.
To see a top secret, underground, literally, project that was completely silent, completely secret, to now going in there and seeing what that was like, what it was like in the 60s, 70s, to see this architecture in there from the Chinese during the Cold War era when, you know, Japan was unfortunately bombed with nuclear. China thought, right, we have to do something, we have to do research. This is what that was.
We are gonna learn so much.
We're gonna learn so much, so let's go. So we're just getting in the car now. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we're just going into the tunnel now, deeper and deeper. Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
My hair.
Oh my gosh, it's getting colder too. So right now we're walking into the bunker here. This is super fascinating. They have these like blue lights as you go in. It's really, really dark down here. I'm so glad I have my flashlight with me. Yeah, we're gonna really learn a lot of good stuff today. So the different numbers represent all of the different rooms in this whole complex, this whole underground complex. So there's a whole heap of different stages that we use for the research and the development of plutonium and nuclear research. So we're really gonna find that out today.
I wonder how much it cost them to build all of this.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll put right here how much it cost them to build this back in 1966. So right now we're just walking into one of the first rooms here, and you can already tell the air is a bit dusty, a bit thick. It is well ventilated, don't get us wrong, but it is quite different. This is extremely fascinating. So we're about to learn what this room was used for right now. Okay, so right now we're in I guess you could say the third part of what we've seen so far. So we're in one of the old water pipes that was used to cool the third outer layer of the nuclear reactor. Now the water from here was pulled from the Wujiang River, which we actually saw this river driving here. So I believe that reactor was used. The reactor essentially needed to cool down, right? And water was one of the ways that they did it, and that was to do the third outer layer of the reactor. So I guess today we're going to see all the different ways of cooling and also how the plutonium was made as well, which would be in the core of the reactor with uranium as well. So yeah, let's go into this tunnel. So once this used to be filled with water, and now we're walking through it. How cool is that? Yeah. Wow.
So cool. Twinkle, twinkle, little stars.
So you might be wondering, Jack, how do you access data when you're in China? How do you access apps like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and all of those things when they're blocked in China? Well, my friends, I use what they call Nomad eSIM. You might be thinking, what is an eSIM? Well, an eSIM is essentially a SIM card except on your phone in an app. And you can choose a variety of countries, over 170 countries Nomad has for you. In my case, because I needed to go to China, the night before I was in Thailand. I typed in China on the Nomad app, clicked on the plan I wanted and installed it on my phone. As soon as I landed in China, as soon as I touched the ground, I had working data just like that. So if you'd like to get an eSIM and not line up in long queues and pay overpriced fees for a physical SIM card, then download the Nomad app today and use my code JACK92CB. Now, you're probably wondering, Jack, how do you access Instagram and Facebook then? Well, because Nomad servers are routed through Hong Kong, through the help of the Nomad eSIM and a VPN, you can access all your apps with no problem. So I definitely recommend it. Use my code here, and I hope you have a great journey when you go to China. So as you can see here, we're just walking up the old stairs here, and here you've got the old cast iron hand railing. You can see the difference in the color. So you can really tell, and you can see the old structural features here that was built in 1966. So this is how China used to build stuff. Extremely interesting, right? So this is the next room that we're in. Whoa. Okay, so now we're in the room 105, and this whole massive hallway almost thing, like it's like humongous. It's like a massive track.
Huge.
It's amazing. It's like a whole massive room. This was used to vaporize and create steam from the water that was being collected, and this steam was used to power this entire plant back in 1966. So when they started construction, they built all of the infrastructure, but then they needed to create power, and the power was taken from the water, which was made into steam, which then ran this entire plant. Super fascinating, right?
Yes.
Crazy. The reason why steam was used here in the power instead of normal electricity was because of US intelligence. Now, if the US used their infrared cameras and saw that there was a lot of heat coming from this underground, bunker, then they would be very suspicious.
Yes.
Spies and everything. So that's why they used steam, to hide themselves from what was actually going on here. So super
really
creative
smart.
and clever from the Chinese. This is why it was so secret, because when you're developing nuclear technology, you don't want to tell the rest of the world. It's a big deal. So yeah, it's very interesting, and I'm sure you're wondering, why is it now decommissioned? Why isn't it still a secret? But I'm not going to tell you just yet. We're going to find that later on. So as you can see behind me, this is actually one of the wine cellars that they use. Now, normally we're actually not allowed to go into this part, but because we have exclusive access today, we can actually see the real and raw cave that was dug out behind me. Now, I'll just show you here. You can just see here that this cave is like dug out raw and isn't cemented. And that's because it's not cemented. That is the reason why people aren't allowed behind here, because it's not necessarily 100% safe, but because we have exclusive access today, we can sort of see the cool things like this, which is really awesome. So we probably look a little bit strange right now. But what you can see behind us is actually the mixer and the separator for the nuclear product, right? So you have two things, the two key ingredients you need for nuclear. One is plutonium, the other one is uranium. These two here were mixed together and then to form a very strong plutonium, which then went for after treatment and then eventually made its way into nuclear products, which never got tested in this project. Who knows if there's products out there now that are currently being tested in a separate project, but that's for another day. So yeah, as far as this facility, it was only 85% completed when it got shut down in 1980s, in the 1980s, I believe. Then it got reopened up to the public and declassified from being a secret in 2002. So yeah, really fascinating here.
Everything we see here is so interesting because we don't get to see this often.
No, not at all. So yeah, right here behind us is where they did all of the mixing and separating of the uranium and plutonium. Every 10 steps we take, we are in a new part of the building. It's crazy. Okay, so we're now in one of the control rooms here. As you can see, these little readers here behind me were actually used to read the power that was coming in and out in all parts of this entire operation. Extremely fascinating. Now, just a quick fact, one of these was actually worth the same price as a coloured TV when they were building this in the 1970s when they got to this part. So these things back in the day were very, very expensive. You know, now these are probably worth like $10, but back then this was a high-tech piece of equipment right here. So this Chinese text here behind me actually says "Long live to the Chinese Communist Party," which is super interesting, and I guess that this was you can sort of tell by how faded the paint is, this was painted originally when this building was built. So yeah, super interesting. Okay guys, so as you can see behind me here, this is the main reactor. This is what turned it into nuclear right here. So this is where the nuclear waste would be collected, I guess. So behind here you can see the tubes. Now these tubes were what filled with plutonium and uranium, and then that was used in the nuclear research to make potentially nuclear weapons.
That was the real deal.
This is the real deal. So if this secret project continued, then what was be behind us right now would be manufactured and used in nuclear weapons to date. But before this got actually closed down, it was only 85% complete, the whole build. So they never, theoretically, this is what they've published, we don't know for sure, but they never theoretically actually made nuclear weapons in this facility. But if it continued, then who knows? We just want to mention as well, just quickly, that we're not promoting nor not promoting any type of war or nuclear research. We're just here to simply document and show you guys what we just find an interesting thing. Yeah,
and knowledgeable.
And knowledgeable, yeah. Okay, so this room here behind us, essentially its job was to circulate air throughout the entire building. So yeah, this was the main center of that. So super fascinating, because I was wondering myself, how is everyone breathing here underground? Because we are breathing in air, obviously, and we need to do it well, otherwise you'll be having people faint, right? Yeah, it's a bit scary, but yeah, this is the room responsible for all of that. Okay, so we are now back to where we started. Wow, what an experience.
Yeah, everything we saw there was totally captivating and fascinating, interesting, something we've never seen before.
So yeah, we hope you enjoyed today. We hope you enjoyed seeing a different aspect of maybe something that you didn't know about. Secret nuclear research and plutonium and uranium, you know.
Yeah, definitely come here if you guys are interested.
Yeah. You know, as I always say on this channel, we go to a lot of different countries around the world, and we may see things that you may not politically agree with, but we're simply just showing what's here and just sharing our experience. So if anything, we hope that you found today's vlog very insightful, useful, and even interesting.
And different.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep it real. Cheers.